Hello and welcome along to this month's Drawalong, the theme of the Princess and the Frog. Now, we're going to be doing things slightly differently this time. Rather than creating a brand new character to join the world of the animated movie that we're looking at, I thought it'd be fun to take this movie, Princess and the Frog, and see if we can turn other characters into frogs. The lovely thing about Princess and the Frog is, spoiler alert, if you don't know, when the two main characters, Naveen and Tiana, turn into frogs, they resemble the characters they are in their humanoid form. And so I thought it'd be fun to look at that and explore creating some new frogs from characters that we know. So I've just selected 3 characters, 2 of which are from the movie already, and another one that has nothing to do with Princess and Frog whatsoever, but I thought it might be fun to try and turn them into a frog, and that is Wallace from Wallace and Gromit. Now, if you go to your downloads and have a look at the worksheet, you can get your own copy of this if you want to study the characters that I've selected, or you can just choose your own characters, and yeah, let's go for it. So first of all, let's look at this character here, Charlotte from Princess and Frog. Let's see if we can turn her into a frog. So the composition of frog is very simple. We have the head, which is quite large, the body, which kind of occupies the same sort of size as the head, and then the limbs as well. Now the limbs are quite long. I've added in a lengthened version of Tiana as a frog here, just so we can really appreciate how long the legs are compared to the arms, especially. So that's something we want to put into our drawings. So I am using a B pencil from Derwent Graphic, and I will be using a Helix liner, as I normally do, and I have my eraser and my metal sharpener. Always use a metal sharpener. They're so much better than the plastic ones. Okay, so let's go. Let's have a look at drawing Charlotte. So first of all, let's map out the head and the body here. And so the legs probably want to come out something like this. So right now I'm just mapping out the space I want the picture to take. So I'm imagining the knees are coming out here and the feet along here. I'm working on the edge of my page, by the way, just so I can put another one in here. Another drawing here. So let's have a look at Charlotte. We can see here she has very big eyes, big mouth, and a tiny, tiny nose. So let's pop in some eyes up here. I'm just roughing in the design at the moment. And the nose. And the mouth, I think we'll do quite big. And I think we'll put lips on as well. Don't worry, I know this is looking very strange right now, but bear with me. There is method in my madness. So you can see here with Tiana, we have this kind of wave shape that comes across the top of the eyes and down into the brow of the head. So let's pop that in too. So something like this. I wonder if I should give her hair. I know frogs don't have hair, but I don't know if that's also cheating. Okay, right, now I'm going to put in the shape of the eye. She has big blue eyes. something like this. Let's pop in her little earrings as well. She has pearl earrings, which is a good feature to pop in just so we can identify. And she is wearing eyeshadow, so let's pop in some eyelids as well. And her eyelashes. Okay, so I'm going to draw a very similar body to Tiana. So the design of the frogs from Princess and the Frog, they have very wide forearms and thinner upper arms. And they're very humanoid hands. Now, because Charlotte is a wealthy character, I just want to draw a bracelet on her just to add a little bit more identity into the frog. And they kind of sit up, they're not sat completely on the floor. Pop in the feet, something like this. Something like that. So I want to outline this so we can see the character clearly. I'm not sure about the nose area. I'm actually going to lower the lip. Something like that. I think that's a bit better. Okay, let's go ahead and put in the key line. Let's see how successful we have been with creating a brand new frog character for... Oh, do you see that? My lid just landed on my wrist. A character for Charlotte. Okay, let's outline. I'm actually just pushing part of the eyes a little bit. I think the eyes were just a little bit too close together before. In the movie, Charlotte's a very kind of social character, going to lots of parties. And that's why I wanted her specifically to have a really big smile. So she's kind of friendly and welcoming. Something like this. Let's draw her bracelet. Let's draw our last knee in here. And here are the eyelashes. So, there we have our first frog-like character, which is Charlotte. So I'm going to go ahead and erase the pencil lines. And then we look at adding in some colour. Okay, so let's go ahead and add in some green just all over. One detail that I really like that I haven't actually drawn in that I think I'm going to draw in now is from the mouth corners, they head down to form the kind of body colour, so the underside of the frog. So I'm going to pop that detail in as well, because I think that's quite a key feature of the design here. So let's go ahead and draw that in. So just a line that comes down there and down into the body. Something like that, that's fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm just going to use a light green and we're just going to colour all over the main green parts of the body, then we're going to add in shading after. Actually, I think I want to use a lighter green, that's a little bit darker than I was expecting. There we go. Okay, so let's have a look at the underside. The underside is kind of like a yellowy green. So I'm going to go ahead and mix together my yellow and my green. So I'm going to use the same green but go lightly to colour in the body. Then I'm just going to wash over it with a light yellow colouring pencil to give it a brand new tone. Like so. Okay, Charlotte has blue eyes, so let's pop in some blue for the eyes. And she also has blue eyeshadow. Is that blue? Looks more like a turquoise green to me. And her lips are a lovely red colour. So let's add in some red. And I'm just going to pop in actually light blue. I was going to use yellow, but I think blue might be better. Just on the edges of the pearl to give it a little bit of shimmer. And I'm going to use yellow for the bracelet, which I might go over with a little bit of orange as well to make it look a bit more golden. Okay, so that's our base. So now I'm going to go on top with a darker green to add some shadow. So we're looking at the shadow in the areas between the chin and the top of the shoulders, as well as the parts of the body that are in more shadow. Okay. So just around the eyes. And just around the lower stomach here and the feet in the back and in the creases of the legs. Just a little bit here as well, just under the head. So something a little bit like that. So we have Charlotte as a frog. Let's have a look at Dr. Frogcilier. So I think a fundamental rule of creating the frogs is that we can't give them too many props. Now, I did give Charlotte earrings and a bracelet, and I think that's the limit. I'm looking at Dr. Facilier here, and I can see he has a big hat on. And so I'm going to try and sketch without the hat. Let's see how we go. Let's go for it. So let's draw. So I'm just going to just map out where I want the head to go, where I want the body to go, and the legs. I'm just putting in the, see here, the kind of knee joint of the frog. I'm just popping in where I want the knee joint to go out to here, just so I can start mapping out. Okay. So pop in the eyes. And the mouth. No, he has a strange curve in his lips, which I want to bring into the frog character as well. And he has a big chin. He has bags under his eyes, so let's put those in too. Let's see if we can start. He has a moustache, which I'll give to the frog as well. And a gap in his teeth. Make his chin a bit bigger. Now I want to give him more of a different pose. So I think maybe something where he's got his hands folded over one another in some sort of scheming pose. Something like that. I think if I had more space on my page, what I'd actually do is just make his legs longer. That's okay for now, so something like that. Now let's go ahead and outline and see if we can bring the character out a little bit more. Okay. And draw the eyes and the eyelid just separately. Yes, thick eyelashes, I'm going to put those in as well, that kind of match his thick moustache. So that's moustache going in there. And the gap in his teeth. something like that. I'm actually going to put his cane in, like he's holding onto his cane. So just under here. I'm going to finish off drawing the hands first. And you see the fingers under here. There, something like that for the cane. Something like that. Okay, so let's get rid of the pencil marks. And let's go ahead and add some colour. Now, I want to colour in Dr Facilier like he's a poisonous frog. Some poisonous frogs are kind of reds, but he has purple in his look and like a maroon colour. So I'm going to go for those colours. I'm going to go for browns and purples. So I'm just going to go over, like I did with the Charlotte frog, I'm going to go over this time with light purple. I'm going to go in with more detail with some browns. I just realised as well I haven't drawn these characteristic, use my pencil to show you, from the corners down for the mouth. But I think for this character I'm just going to leave it just to differentiate a little bit, because I've already drawn it in his chin, which I think is more of a key feature. But I will add in kind of the belly, oops. Like that. Okay. I haven't drawn in the creases in the legs. Okay. So let's go in with some shading, and I'm just going to use a brown just to try and bring out some of the tone. I'm using brown because brown the colours that are used to make brown you find in purple. So brown is made up using red and blue and yellow. Now red and blue make purple. So assuming it's the right brown, you're not going in too dark, it works very effectively as a shader colour for purple. When I say a shader colour, I need to add in some shading. Just pop in his lip as well. We can do his lip brown just to contrast. So the areas that are in shadow most are the areas under the head, so the shoulders, down by the knees, put this under the hands here as well. Something like that. Now I'm just going to go press harder with the purple just on the cheeks. I'm going to go over the eyelids as well. Oops. Something like that. I'm going to use a brown, a light brown for the colour of his body. And I might just go for that with a little bit of yellow as well. Now his stick, the stick is, I'm going to use very dark browns. It's a similar tone to his suit in the picture. And I'm going to use a press harder for the purple. Here, and then just use a darker purple, which I don't have. Oh, I'll use red just to add more shading kind of underneath and where it's touching the hands for the contact. So we just have a little bit of shine here to add a bit of dimension. So there we have Dr. Facilier as a frog. So we just use the key features, which in this case are the gap in his teeth and his moustache and the kind of bags under his eyes. And we just put in the prop as well, just as an extra little detail. So there we have Dr. Frogcilier as a frog. Let's have a look at drawing a character outside of the universe of Princess and the Frog. Let's have a look at putting in Wallace. I did my training as an animator at Aardman, so I have a very close affination, love for Wallace. and grommet. So let's turn the page over and let's see what we can do here to turn Wallace into a frog. So I'm going to map out the head here, the body, and the legs. The knee joint's going to come out something like this, something like that. Okay, so Wallace has a massive smile and relatively small eyeballs, but they're very round. So let's first of all get in his smile. He has a sausage-shaped smile. And he has his 4 teeth at the front. And his other teeth at the back. Something like that. If we put his eyes right close together. And if we look at the shape of his head, it's almost frog-like anyway, the way that the cheeks come out. So let's copy that. So we'll have a very small head here. But the cheeks are going to go out like this. Now Wallace has even bigger hands. His hands are almost the same size as his head. So let's draw in his hands. Massive fingers. And thumb. And his knees. Comes like this. And draw his toes coming outside. Something like that. Okay, let's do the outline. I always do this with a pen. It doesn't sit on the edge. Very annoying at the end of the pen. Oh dear, looks like my pen is starting to lose ink. We will keep going. He has a lot of teeth. Gosh, my pen is really running out, isn't it? We'll keep going. There we go. There's Wallace as a frog. Now let's colour him in. I'm going to use just the general frog tones for this one. So looking at greens. So let's get my greens back. I'm just going to wash. Oh, I need to rub out my rubbers, my rubber marks. Let's get erasing first. Pop those there. I really want to add in his nose. A round nose here, but I think it will take it too far out of being a frog, so let's see if we can make it work like this. So I'm just washing over in a light green, and then as before I'll work on top in a darker green to add shading. Okay, I'm going to use yellow for the body. This yellow is a little bit dark, almost like an orange. I'm going to go over it with some green as well. Okay, let's use the darker green. So I'm just going around the eyes. Around the bottom. Just a little bit around the mouth. This area is in shadow a little bit more. creases in the legs. The crease of the ankle and the upper foot. And just around the underside of the fingers where they're kind of more towards the ground. There's a little bit of the crease of the wrist there as well, just very lightly. Now let's have a look at the inside of his mouth, which will have a kind of, I'm going to go a deep red. I might go over it with a brown as well. So I'm not a huge fan of using black to colour in dark areas, because it's very unlikely that that area is actually black. In cartoons, sometimes it's a good idea to do that, but I just like to try and use other colours to give it a little bit more interest. Something like that. And just go a little bit harder, just in between the teeth where there won't be a lot of light. There we go. We have Wallace as a frog. So from this character to this character. So there we have it. I hope you enjoyed this draw along, turning humanoid characters into frogs, exactly what happened to Naveen and Tiana in Princess and the Frog. Don't forget, in the description of this video on YouTube and on Patreon will be the links where you can get hold of all the materials that I've used, from my paper to my Faber-Castell pencils to my pencil sharpener, the pencil that I've used, all those sort of things as well, if you want to do it in the same way. But any paper will do, any pens, any colouring pencils. Use what you have and just be creative with it. And yeah, send me some photos of the characters that you turn into frogs using the key features of the characters you've chosen to froggerize. Froggerize? Made up a word. I like it. Let's use it. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you very soon. All right, take care. Lots of love. Bye.